Closed captioning for Delmarva Life is brought to you by Maryland Relay.
In today's modern world, there's a wide array of advanced technology that makes it easier for people to use the telephone. To ensure everyone in Maryland has access to these solutions, the state offers Maryland Accessible Telecommunications, or MAT program. It's a program that gives Maryland residents the opportunity to apply for this equipment at no cost. We would like to welcome to Delmarva Life MAT manager Kevin Steffi, along with American Sign Language interpreter Anna Rose, and we would also like to welcome MAT specialist Jane Hager. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kevin, give us kind of a rundown of the MAT program and how it works.
Certainly, Maryland Accessible Telecommunications, also known, as you mentioned, as the MAT program, is a fantastic program that the state provides under state government. And essentially, they can distribute accessible telecommunication equipment for individuals who qualify through an application process, and they use that for any telecommunication needs, so using a standard telephone. And it's a loaner program. We loan that equipment out for them to use, so that they can access the phone for whatever reason they might have difficulty with. The MAT program is monitored by Telecommunication Accessibility of Maryland. The Maryland Department of Disabilities houses that program.
And so who can apply to use it?
So it's for individuals who, as I mentioned, can't use a standardized telephone. In addition to that, they need to have an income limitation, in order to not be able to afford that specific equipment themselves. You have to be a resident of Maryland, age 3 or above, in order to apply for the program. In addition to that, you need to have a certified disability. We serve 7 different disability communities: the deaf community, the deaf-blind community, the hard of hearing community. In addition to that, the blind or low vision community, those with speech, cognitive, or mobility challenges. So we have equipment for all of those groups. And then lastly, there is that income requirement, as I mentioned. If a person is receiving any type of federal subsidy, or they're a veteran, they automatically qualify in those cases. Or if somebody is working, but they are low income, it's 400% of the federal poverty line, they also then would qualify for the program.
Gotcha. And Jane, what kind of equipment is available for this program for folks?
There's a variety of wireless devices, so cell phones. There's also landline solutions. And in addition to that, we provide any kinds of accessories that someone might need. For example, if they're unable to move any of their hands or limbs, they might receive a puff that would activate a phone, a puff switch. So all of that's included.
And tell us a little bit more about the application process.
Yeah, there's an application that's available online at marylandrelay.org. You go to the equipment tab. The Get Started Now section will take you to the beginning of an electronic contact information kind of thing.
I love that it's not a one-size-fits-all. You kind of base it on individual needs.
Absolutely. We have a very, very broad range of equipment that we offer. We have a list of different types of, like I mentioned, disability categories. And in addition to that, we can customize some devices and equipment to fit the individual needs of the person. We want to make sure that everybody has access to telecommunication. That's mission critical, regardless of what disability they might have. So, as well as for those mobile devices.
And it sounds like these programs, these services are literally life-changing.
Absolutely, definitely, no question. For all disability communities, it certainly can make an impact. I mean, to just give you a real-world example, right now, we are actually distributing more mobile devices versus those landline devices. So if it so happens that it's a rural area where a person breaks down, most of the time somebody has a cell phone with them and they're going to be able to access telecommunications. Not only is it devices, but we also have various apps that can be downloaded on a person's mobile device that they can then use for accessibility purposes to ensure safety.
Wow.
Even for calling things like 911.
And did you just introduce a program for folks who are deaf-blind?
We did. Thank you for asking about that. We have a program called a Communication Facilitator program, known as the CF program, and that's for our deaf-blind community. So deaf-blind individuals can't access visual information on a screen if you were having a video meeting. So in lieu of that, we provide a communication facilitator, which functions very similarly to an interpreter. They go to the person's home or meet the person at a location, and then they use what's called tactile sign language with that deaf-blind individual, or pro-tactile sign language if that specific request is made, and then they will convey or facilitate all the information that's taking place on the screen or on the other end of that line to the deaf-blind individual, which is a fantastic program because it really helps them maintain that level of independence.
Sounds like it. And if folks wanted to learn more about that program, how would they do so?
Well, we provide CF training for those individuals who want to access that program. And in addition to that, we also provide pro-tactile training, which is essentially a way of communicating environmental information on the person's body. So we provide both of those for people who want to sign up to be part of that program, which takes place on the weekends typically. I think we're going to have our next communication facilitator training in the fall, and we're going to do that in Salisbury, actually.
All right, we'll look forward to that then. Well,
Yes.
thank you guys so much for coming and educating us on this, and thank you for what you're doing to really change lives in the area.
Yeah, thank you
Our
for
pleasure.
having us.
Our pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Of course, we've got Kevin Steffi, Jane Hager, and interpreter Anna Rose here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.